Hi, I'm Bill with Line Country with my buddy Eric, and this is Billy, one of our shop dogs, and a doggone good bird dog. Billy, she's bred right now, so come not too long, we'll be making maybe some nice puppy videos with Billy and some whelping products, and she's going to be helping us out in that regard. As you can see, she's pretty chilled out. She's a good girl. She keeps all the bad people out of the office on most days, so you just stay right there, Billy. Don't do anything rash now. We're here today to talk about some tick products for your dog. Obviously, ticks are just an increasing problem. They're not going away. The biggest concern on your canine is tick-borne diseases, the most notable being Lyme disease. So the good news is there's a plethora of products that will take care of, help you control ticks and remove ticks once you have contacted ticks. So we've kind of broken them down into some categories, Eric, and probably the most prevalent, what most people are using, are the various spot-on products you put down the dog's back. I think most everybody's familiar with Frontline. It's become sort of the gold standard. It was one of the first fipronil product. Still is very effective, although they now have come out with Tri-Tac, which is the same manufacturer, and there's just been a progression of increased products here. Billy, you're not cooperating. Bill. So you stay. But that's not the only product out there. We have SpectraSure is another product. There's a whole lineup there. A lot of folks are real having great luck with Canine Advantix. And there's another product that's a little more cost effective if cost is a concern, and it's a BioSpot Defense. And reports being that a lot of people get very good control with this product. Most of them are a once a month application, so you're going to be applying every month, and usually you will get a full month. Sometimes by the end of the month you can start seeing that there's maybe a little bit of tailing off of effectiveness. I'm not sure what you're using, Eric, but I've used most of these products with pretty good success. I think we've all started out with Frontline.
I actually use Advantix too on Angie.
Okay, you've seen Angie in some of our other videos. You're getting good control with Advantix?
I do, yes. Yeah, and just like from I guess people's experience and what I've heard is you get about 3 real strong weeks out of them, and then the last week it starts to tail off, and you might find some more. It still kills them when they bite. It just doesn't have the same repellent strength.
You might want to tailor that then when they, if it's in the heart of the hunting season, then you might want to, start thinking about maybe a supplemental product towards the end. So there are others out there. We're not going to get into active ingredients and which one we feel is better than the other. Just know that that's one approach. Another approach that's been really taking hold over the last decade is our tick collars. There was a day when collars were primarily geared towards fleas and weren't worth much for tick control. What we've come up with now, though, is the newer collars are geared towards ticks, and some of them will have actually arachnicides in them and are much more effective. This Prevent Tick collar we've been selling this for quite some time, and it's been a real good product for us, and I've used this and with great results. They're the biggest one now, though, that's been kind of a revelation. Billy, sit. Where you get ready? We've got grasshopper. That's the big one. The rest of it, 8-month product. I'm not sure if you've used this yet, but I've used it, and a lot of our customers are using it. I think actually Billy doesn't have one on right now, but I believe she's using this. Brian's using it on Billy. This is a true 8-month preventative collar, so it's a little bit pricey up front, but if you spread it out over 8 months versus 3 doses for most of the topical products, it hangs right in there on a cost effectiveness standpoint, and maybe even exceeds it in some regard. So BioSpot is another option for a tick collar, and again, like the BioSpot, spot on, nicer price point for someone maybe has a whole bunch of beagles and a lot of dogs, and just needs to keep their costs down a little more. Folks are getting some pretty good results with them. Eric, what are you seeing on with our customers you're talking to? Do you think there's a change or preference that folks are?
There's still quite a few people who just use the topical applications. Most of the time when people call, if they're going to get a collar, they have questions about it first. But then, normally they do wind up buying it. But people that, most people are still using topicals, I guess, that I've run into.
Yep.
But they're definitely, collars are gaining a foothold against the more people are using.
I think what most people like is the fact is that they can just put the product on and then they don't have to worry about anything for a month, basically. I think it's a convenience thing. There's another line that, we didn't want to get too crazy here and drag this thing out too long, so we kind of left out the topical sprays. But there are, Frontline has a spray, there are sprays that can be very effective. There are also natural sprays that can be used in conjunction with other products. You always want to be careful about combining products, and we're certainly not recommending that you do that. But just know that they're out there, and maybe we'll do another video another day on all that thing. But I think now, you've got your front line of defense here, your plan, and you come back from the woods. Now what? There's still going to be ticks on your dog. There's still going to be possibly some embedded ticks. So what do you do there? And one of the things we really believe in lion country is the first line of defense once you get out of the woods is a good flea and tick comb. As many ticks you can comb out of the dog, little larval stage or nymphal stage ticks, the better off. You've just got them right there. They're out of the dog, and you don't have to worry about them. So we think that this is what I do first when I come out of the woods. You'd be surprised how many ticks you just get out of the equation right there. I don't know, Eric, what are you doing, or where do you see our product lineup when it comes to once you have an embedded tick?
So once you've had embedded ones, there's a couple different options. We have tick release, which it's some drops. You put it down on the tick, and it makes the tick easier to remove. I'm not sure what it does to them that actually makes them back out, but it works real well for getting the tick just to release their grip hold on there whenever they're real embedded in case if it had been a while, if you don't use topical solutions for whatever reason. This makes the tick release makes it a lot easier just to loosen them up.
Yeah.
Get them out with. And then once they're loosened up, we have a couple different products. We have a tick twister. You kind of put this between the skin and the tick and then twist it out to help you get it out. There's nippers, which
that's my favorite.
The nippers.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a pair of pliers. It cradles down around the bottom of it, helps you work them out. You get lots of leverage with this.
Works real well on the small ticks. It's called seed ticks. A lot of people refer to them. They're really larval or nymphal stage ticks. And maybe just like what I've used those for years. It's one of my personal favorites.
Yeah, and they all work well. Just each one works a little differently, and it's just what your preferences are. We have a tick ease, which is the same kind of thing, where it has a little blade that you can slide under. This one also has a built-in pair of tweezers if you would want to use those. They actually have a fairly sharp point on them.
Helps it a little with thorns and things like that. Yeah.
Then this is just the tick remover. It has a little magnifying glass, in case you might have trouble seeing small things, help you see a little closer what you're doing. And then it has the same little key that you use to basically just like a spoon, and you use that to remove it.
Bucks like that a lot. So you can see, it really comes down to what you're used to, I think, and what works well for you, what you're comfortable with. Everybody, even here, seems to have their own preferences. I think based on kind of what the heck you use the most, it probably makes the most sense for you.
Right, and then if the tick is on your dog, it's generally accepted that you have the tick has to be embedded for 24 hours before diseases can pass through. Is the accepted belief. But since we never know, you you never know exactly when the tick got on there. It's always best just to remove it as soon as possible.
Get it out of there.
If you are worried about Lyme disease, we do have a kit called the Lymealyzer. We have two different options, one for pet and one for people. This is the one for pets. And it's an instant. It comes with instructions, and you basically process the tick with it, and it gives you, within 10 minutes, you have a result of whether the tick is carrying Lyme disease, which that can let you know if you need to possibly get a booster on a Lyme vaccine, or if you should.
It's peace of mind,
Right.
Yeah, and it's. I can't tell you before these came out how many times you come home, there's a tick on you, it's embedded, a tick on your dog, and the thought has to cross your mind: was that particular tick carrying Lyme disease? Well, now if you're the kind of person that really just has to know, then you can know. Billy, stay with us. Sit. Good girl. So as you can see, we could go on and on here. There's a ton of products, and that's the good news. It can be a little confusing. I think what you need to do is, accept an approach that's going to be your approach for the fall or whatever, and stick with it, because you certainly don't want your dogs to go unprotected. You need to do everything you can do. Some of it's a little pricey. Some of it is dirt cheap that can be really, really, really effective. So I don't believe, and I know Eric, you're the same way with Angie, there's not one single product that's just going to be, take care of the whole situation for you. You need to kind of, use the comb.
Take a multi-fronted approach against them.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's not a lot of fun, but it doesn't mean you can't take your buddy to the woods and still enjoy yourself, because you certainly can.
And if you do have any questions about specifics, you want to know what ingredients are in some of the topicals, or you want to know, everything else that they, help repel, feel free to give us a call. We can talk through them with you. We can talk through two different ones. We can give you our own personal opinions of which ones, we feel might work better depending on, where you live and what kind of bugs you might be facing.
Yep, check out our website, our 84-page catalog, call, talk to Eric or any of our other customer specialists, and we'll get you fixed up.
Thank you.
Thank you.